Butterflies of Moses Meadow, Sinlahekin Wildlife Recreation Area, and Long Swamp. Those are our 3 days. Here's a map showing our first day trip. We're over here at Omak. Actually, right now we're down in Okanagan, but the group will be meeting in Omak, and we'll be taking this 14.5-mile drive over here. This is a good paved road, and then this red road is a BIA road, which is unsurfaced. This is a through road, actually. It's a pretty good road. And just north, this is Moses Meadows with the loop road around it. And on up about here is the end of the reservation, and that's Forest Service land beyond. So this is Forest Service road, and on up a ways further, it joins the county roads, which are paved. So it goes from pavement to pavement, and that's actually a through road. But there's some through traffic, not a lot, but when we're parked along these roads, stay off the roads or watch for cars. It could be kind of dangerous. And here's the second day trip. This is over the Sinlahekin. Again, we're now just off the map here in Omak. There's a turnoff here. There's a road that turns off and goes 10 miles over to the Sinlahekin, or actually right to the tip of that red road. That's the road that comes up from the town of Pompano. So we'll be driving across there. Then we'll be working around in different parts of the Sinlahekin Wildlife Recreation Area. The third day, and this is a currently map, the handout's much better. The third day we'll be doing this long loop. It's over 100 miles. This is the day after the conference. We'll be going up to Nebraska. We'll be taking the road up to Wilderness, and then the pavement actually goes clear up to Long Swamp, which is one of the classic destinations in the state, and it ends there. And then we have unsurfaced logging roads going down to 30-mile Meadows, another classic location. Go down about in here, and if you go straight down, there's a road that goes all the way down to Winthrop. But we'll be branching off, going over, Larry, what's the name of the pass? Lone something pass? Lone Frank Pass. Now the Forest Service webpage says that road's kind of on the rough side. We have not scouted it, so we'll see if we can get through. But we'll be going down to Salmon Meadows. Yet another classic location. We're getting classic locations. These are places that lepidopterists have been working butterflies in Washington for many decades. But we've got Long Swamp, 30-mile Meadows, Salmon Meadows, the Sinlahekin, and of course Moses Meadows. These are all classic spots. So we have some really amazing places on the agenda here. So let's start looking at some of the butterflies that we're going to be seeing. Joe and I have been doing a little scouting. We were here yesterday and went up to the Moses Meadows area, and then today we went to the Sinlahekin. So we've got an idea of some of the things. I've kind of put everything in this presentation that we might see. Some of these are going to be out of season. The Parnassians, if we see Parnassians, it's probably going to be on the Monday loop. There are some Parnassians in the Sinlahekin, but they're kind of hard to find, and you have to climb a big hill. I'm not a hill climber. Old World Swallowtail, we'll see this plant called Artemisia grunculus. It's a type of sage that grows around, and it's the host plant for this butterfly. We might see some Old World Swallowtails. Somebody on the way over. John, you saw a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, in the Aswell Canyon, there was I saw about a dozen of them.
That's amazing. That's not where we're going, but
No.
they're definitely still flying right now. These things are double brooded, so it's always a little iffy when you're going to be out there just when they're flying. But it's good to know that they are. And the swallowtails, we should see these. We saw a few of them on our 2 scouting days. And the western tiger swallowtails, we should be up to our armpits with these. Watch the western tiger swallowtails, because we have the possibility of the Canada tiger swallowtail. It's very rare in Washington. The Canada tiger swallowtail, you notice the orange spots on the undersides of the hind wing. They're orange all the way up. But the western tiger swallowtail, only a couple down here are orange. So when we get to the Sinlahekin, we'll see probably scores of Western tigers, and we'll watch them. I did find a Canada tiger swallowtail in the Sinlahekin several years ago, so they do occur there. They're not common at all. Two-tailed swallowtail, the big beauty. There's a few of them around. They're vastly outnumbered by the Western tigers, but there are a few of them in the Sinlahekin. Pale swallowtail, we saw those here and there in both of the areas. Whites. We're too early for fine whites. They surely occur through this area, but they usually don't fly for another month or so. Becker's white, this is a butterfly of the lower water areas. I haven't seen one this trip, but they surely must be around.
Second brood should just be emerging right about now.
So we might find some larvae too.
Well, we want to see the adults, so they're going to come out brand spanking fresh right about now.
Okay, good, good. Spring white, we're probably too late for the spring white, but it certainly occurs in these parts. The western white, we've seen a fair number of western whites around, so they're definitely around. Cabbage whites, of course, you always have cabbage whites, kind of all times and all places. Usually the cabbage white will have a sooty mark here at the tip of its wing. This one doesn't happen to have, but usually when you see that sooty mark, you know it's a cabbage. I haven't seen any marbles this trip. I think we're too late for them? Too late. But the large marbles occurred here earlier in the year. Sarah orange tips, probably also past their flight season. We have not seen these this trip. Clouded sulfurs. We're seeing lots of clouded sulfurs in certain areas of the Sinlahekin. I took a photograph today that had probably at least a dozen in one little mud spot on the road. So they're very much around. The orange sulfur I've not seen this trip. They surely are around. They're multiple brooded. We might be between broods right now. Christina sulfur. Anybody know what the Christina sulfur is? We got an expert in the crowd who knows. Mr. John.
I don't get this, to contribute to this. Everyone else has to.
Okay. We have a thing called the Queen Alexandra sulfur in the state. We still do have it, but it's known for having the spike spot on sulfurs is always important, and the Queen Alexandra sulfur does not have a ring around that white spot. And this particular thing here has been a subspecies of the Queen Alexandra, Coleus Alexandra Christina. And it's now been elevated to full species status. So we have a new species in the state, and that's a Christina sulfur. And we will see these in Moses Meadows, and we would like to see them also down in the Sinlahekin. Anything to add, John?
No, you did great.
Pink edge sulfur, I'm terrible at recognizing these. I hope somebody else can pick these up. But they do have, you notice the white ring has the white spot has a smudgy ring around it and a satellite spot. And the Christina has this nice clean ring. What am I doing? Christina has this nice clean ring and no satellite spot. So we'll look for those to separate them. But these sulfurs are kind of hard. Blue copper, we're in the coppers now, and we have seen some blue coppers down the Sinlahekin. We've seen a number of males and a few females. The females are brown dorsally, and the males are bright blue. The only copper that's not copper. I haven't seen a purplish copper, but surely they're around somewhere. Violet bordered some copper. We should see these at Moses Meadows, but we haven't picked them out yet. We were rushing around pretty fast, not swinging and that. There's a lot of things we saw flying we could not get a good look at, so these may be around as well. Now, it seemed Mariposa, but it should surely be around. Mariposa copper. Hair streaks. Coral hair streak. We've seen a few. We've seen coral hair streak at both locations. Moses Meadows and the Sinlahekin. Typically you watch at the milkweed, you check the tops of the milkweed flowers, and they find that plant irresistible. There's quite a lot of milkweed blooming right now in the Sinlahekin. What did we see coral on up at Moses Meadow? There's some other plant, but they'll come to any hectare, but especially.
Was it on dog bay?
All the dog bean that we saw, most of the dog bean we saw was also in the Sinlahekin, but I don't remember what it was on. Sorry about that. Bear's Hair Street. We're not going to see this at Moses Meadows, but there's quite a few of them down in the Sinlahekin. And they tend to like to be either on the mustard. This is a mustard that this one was on. A lot of tall mustards, Sicimbrium. And they'll be on that, or they'll be on the mud around some of these camping grounds. And it's not wet mud, it's just patched dirt. And you see these Bear's Hair Streak that can be pretty common in this weekend. Haven't seen the California Hair Streak. They should be around, just haven't seen them yet. Sylvan Hair Streak, I haven't seen this one, and the last couple of days it should also be around. Green hair shakes are probably gone for the season. We have a couple species and they're both gone. They fly real early. Thicket hair streak, saw one, so there's still about. These feed on dwarf mistletoe, Archithobium, which grows on the plant trees. Brown elfin is probably gone for the season. But again, we saw some of the places we stopped in Moses Meadows, there were these little butterflies darting around, and we just didn't take the time to swing them back and see what they were. So there probably are some elfins still around. Moss's elfin, I actually haven't seen that up here, but it shows on the atlas that it occurs here. This is a cool one, hoary elfin. We'll be actually stopping at the spot where this, well, the progenitor of this was collected. This one was reared. But this is if you've seen the hoary elfin from other places, like over Mason County on the west side, it looks quite different. They're kind of a rusty brown, but up here they're this dark gray. John assures me that it's nothing significant, it's just variation.
I didn't say nothing significant.
That's the words I did. Anyway, they're pretty cool to see them. And we could still have them flying around, I think. It's getting pretty late. Western pine elfins may be gone for the season. We haven't seen those. Gray hair streaks, we've seen a few of these. They don't seem to be real abundant right now, but we saw at least one at each of the locations we visited in the last few days. Blues. The Western tail blue, haven't seen these. They may be gone for the season. They fly pretty early. Echo blue, likewise, they used to call these the spring azure, but they also fly early. We have not seen these. They may be gone. Euphalotes, there's a lot of Euryalga around, a type of buckwheat that these feed on, but there's been pretty much a lack of any Euphalotes butterflies. I saw one over the Sinlahekin. But the host plant they feed on, the Heracleoides buckwheat is really past prime. It might be getting kind of late for these guys. They do use other plants, but that's their primary one. Silver blues, there's still some of those around. You should see them. Arrowhead blues should be around, but we have not seen them. Kind of watch for these around lupins. That's their favorite. They especially like the silky lupins, Lupinus ceruleus. So that's a good butterfly to watch for. Now this is a very cool butterfly. When we're working in areas down south, many of our field trips are down in areas like Kittitas County, and we don't see the northern blue down there. And we see the Melissa blue. The Melissa blue is pretty simple. It's got these bright orange bands on both wings. It's got these scintillating metallic reflective spots. And up here we have this northern blue that's almost as bright, almost as dazzling as the Melissa blue. but it is classified as a different species. And we should see a pretty good number of these up at Moses Meadow. So watch for this butterfly. They're very attractive. Here is the Melissa. I put this in because Caitlin Wagar, who's done a lot of work in the Sinlahekin, is pretty sure that she's found it there. This has a different habitat requirements than the northern blue. Here it is, the northern blue. This is kind of forest butterfly, or butterfly of the forest prairies, whereas the Melissa is a shrub stilk butterfly. It likes real dry waste areas. So they're usually not found in the same place, but this may be occurring in certain places, the drier parts of the Sinlahekin. The greenish blue, the larvae of this plant feed on clover, so you usually see the greenish blue around stream sides where it's damp and there's clover growing. You will see these in both of the areas. Waterfalls blue is pretty much everywhere. We haven't seen too many of them, but they are around, so we should find those in both of the locations. The lupin blue we have not seen, and I'm not sure. Now the folks that went up to Long Swamp today, did you say that you saw the lupin blue and the aquamon blue?
Yeah, I thought we did, but I'm not going to swear to it.
Okay. And John, you did see the aquamon blue today, right?
Oh, yeah, excellent.
The aquamon. These two look a lot alike. They're pretty hard to separate, but they're two deep blues that have the orange aurora only on the hind wing. The aurora and the Sinlahekin spots, but not on the forewing either of the species. So we can watch for these two. Arctic blue is the butterfly you would not expect in the areas where we're going. But Caitlin Wagar, again with all of her work in the Sinlahekin, has found this species at one location there. It's usually a very high elevation butterfly. Greater frillaries. When we go to the Moses Meadows, we're not going to see very many greater frillaries. When you do see them, please try to catch them so you can get them identified. But we see quite a few frillaries when we go to the Sinlahekin. This is a great spangled frillary. This is a female, but today we were seeing males of this in one of the spots in the Sinlahekin. And the other large trips, we really didn't try to catch them. Again, we were scouting, so we were moving through pretty fast. So I'm not sure what other greater trips we will see. We certainly will see some of them. But the Coronis and the Zarrini are kind of the two classics that you see pretty much everywhere. And the Calliope is another one that's pretty widespread and common. It's marked with, it has rather contrasting marks compared to the other frillaries. Northwestern frillaries finally historis. This is the one with the silver spots that they have in the subspecies Rico. It has these bright metallic reflective spots, whereas this is a more common northwestern frillary, the Dodgei subspecies. And the spots are white, and they're not metallic or reflective within the same species, which we believe they have. Hydaspes should be around, but I haven't seen it. It has this brick red dorsal hang or ventral hangwing background color. Marble frillaries, I think the folks who went up to Long Swamp saw them up there. That would be the Monday trip for those who will be staying around. Lesser frillaries. This is the cool stuff. I haven't seen any lesser frillaries, but they really should be around in the Moses Meadows area. And this is the classic one. This is the meadow frillary. It's found in very few places in the state. It looks quite a bit like the western meadow frillary, except it has these truncated, squared up wingtips. So it's pretty easy to recognize. This is found in Moses Meadows. We did not see it there when we were scouting. We'll be going right into one area where it does occur, so hopefully we'll see it. It has a very early brood and then a later brood. We could be between broods on this one. I'm not sure. What do you think, John? Broods. And again, the folks who went up to Long Swamp today did see the western meadow frillary. They're pretty common up there. praying for a trip area. This is the classic one that we want to see on the Monday trip. Again, those can stay around. By the way, I should kind of ask if we're going to have any people that can't stay for Monday. I know that most of you have to get back to jobs and such, but just as a real tentative measure, can you raise your hand if you think we'd be staying for Monday? Okay, there's a fair number. Looks like maybe 3 or 4 cars. That's good.
You guys have to go back to work.
This is our target, both Long Swamp and 30 Mile Meadows. Hopefully we'll see play up. And by the way, I don't think any longer trip has ever seen the parade. Anybody want to checker spots and crescents? Now this is what we're going to see in spades when we go up to Moses Meadows. The northern checker spot for San Paulo. We have a counterpart of this in one of our regular spots in Kittitas County. We have the same price checker spot, which is very similar, except that the females of this species are black. Up here, the females of the northern checker spot is orange. And we should see these in numbers. And the northern crescent, and I'm embarrassed to say I do not have a dorsal photo of this. The dorsal is a really key one, but it has some very interesting dark patches on the dorsal wing. And these were pretty common also in most of the meadows. We will see them, and I'm going to try to get some good dorsal photos. Field crescent, there's a few of them around, we will see them. They have this dark magnetic dorsal surface.
Down in the Tri-Cities.
Field crescents, the King of Lamar has found these in the Sinlahekin, and they're found in areas peripheral to the Sinlahekin. They may be kind of gone for this season. They fly quite early. They like this native thistle. You see this big wavy leaf thistle that they like. Very neat butterflies, and they're pretty darn scarce. They're hard to find, but there are some colonies of them around kind of the periphery of the Sinlahekin. Moletta crescent, I think we'll see molettas. I'm not sure if we saw this on this trip yet, but they should be around. And we're going to see, I don't know, these to sink the ship. These are the initial checker spots. And again, we don't see these down south, or very, very rarely. We think there's Tola, the southern checker spot. But this is the counterpart that occurs up here in Okanagan County. And we should see literally hundreds of these at Moses Meadows. This is another one I need some pictures of. So I'm going to be trying to take some pictures tomorrow. So-called true Greshmas. We have not seen a single common. We have 4 species of common in the state. And I think we're either between broods, or what happens is the commas or anglewings hatch out in about the part of this time of year. The adults should be around, but they go into a summer diapause. They sort of get out of sight and they stay there, and they just hold under a limb or a branch or a leaf, and they wait until late summer. And then they try to find food sources, and they fatten themselves up because they overwinter as adults. But right now, they're probably, if they are hatched, if they're close to adults, they're probably dormant right now. But they're certainly around. It's a very good area for that. We don't see a single one yet. There's the green comma, hoary comma, dorsal view of the hoary comma. But and the Orioles does occur up here. It's usually a different subspecies, which is paler than this one.
Have you ever seen the ones from up here?
And the Compton tortoiseshell. This is a classic area for Compton tortoiseshell. In the Sinlahekin, we collected a whole bunch of eggs on the tips of birch twigs. So they certainly occur here. We were not able to find any larvae or pupae or adults today when we were looking for them in the Sinlahekin, but we certainly frequent this area. California tortoiseshells, they migrate in and out. They have big ears and bum ears, and this is the bum ear. We have seen very few California tortoiseshells around the state, and we didn't see any up here yet. Morning, folks. We saw a couple, 2 or 3 morning folks, but it's in the tempered part of Moses Meadows, and unfortunately, that's an area where there's active logging. We can't go in there. we got quite a ways in the Moses Meadows loop, and we came to all this big heavy equipment working right in the middle of the road. We had to turn around and go back. That's where we saw the morning clothes. But they are around. We have not seen the millworks furnace show yet. It would surely be around. We can try to find their RV on that. And there's a fair number of painted ladies, just Goodyear painted ladies. They look pretty fresh, so I'm not sure they've had time. They've surely been laying eggs already, but I haven't seen any larvae. We'll watch for larvae on the Canada thistle, but we didn't see any, so we'll just continue checking thistles when we see them, maybe find some nice caterpillars. They, David Droppers got some larvae, what was it, Dave, two weeks ago down at Research Canyon?
Yep.
Yeah. And they've already pupated and enclosed, right?
Yeah, just wait on one.
But we're further north now, and I'm not sure they've got time to develop their larvae yet. West Coast lady, we have not seen this on the trip, but it's potential. Red Admiral, pretty sure I saw a ray, a really friendly Red Admiral, it was really warm, but I got this little mental hesitation because I think I might have figured it was something. It was a Red Admiral, so, but it was ratty. We did see some large animals around, especially in the Sinlahekin, but there's a field around in Meadow as well. This is a fine photo by David James.
It's really massive.
Now, I wasn't sure I was going to come up here and have some background, so I sent the program over to David James, and he looked through it, and the first thing he said is, why don't you have a monarch in here? And in my great depth of knowledge, I said, well, I was looking at the distribution maps, the insulin maps, and there are no records up here. Then I pulled out the insulin maps, and I found that I was totally wrong. Monarch does occur here, but it's not found in the areas where our field trips are going. All the records are further north, out by Canada, or further south, down by Paris. And so I still felt kind of smug over this excursion. Yesterday, when we were moving into the motel up here in Omac, we had to wait a while because the room wasn't ready. So we were sitting in the lobby there at the Best Western, and I was looking through these big glass doors. Right outside under the canopy, we had our car parked. And just past the car, there were some flowers that the motel had planted there. And there was this big butterfly. So I went racing out there. It's a monarch. There it is. And so I had to eat crow twice. And then this morning, when Joe and I were getting over to the Sinlahekin, about halfway between Highway 97 and Sinlahekin, it's a 10-mile road, and right at the 5-mile mark, we noticed that along both sides of the road there's a bunch of milkweed, so we just pulled over and stopped. Another monarch. So the monarchs are here. Common ringlet, we've seen a few of these. There are not many of them around, but they are here. Both the common wood nymph and the dark wood nymph, we're seeing them down in Sinlahekin. And we might have seen one or two up in Moses Meadows, but mostly this was something we see in the Sinlahekin. The common elk, I don't have the small wood nymph. Does it not occur to you?
Yeah, absolutely does.
It what?
It absolutely does.
It does. I don't have it in the presentation. I thought we saw them most of the day. Alpines are probably past their flight period down at low elevations. We could certainly see them up higher when we go up to Moses Meadow, or up to Mug Swamp, sorry. And the Bidward's Alpine is a higher elevation thing. It does occur, if we took that big ridge road going all the way from Mug Swamp down to Winthrop, we'd probably see this species, but I don't know if we'll see it on the loop we're taking Monday. So we'll look for it. The great Arctic, this is a biennial butterfly. Anybody know what that is? Yeah, it flies every 2 years. It takes 2 years for the larvae to develop. And they're known as an even year butterfly, so they'll fly only on even years, except when they go. And what we're finding is we're getting reports of this thing flying, more and more reports flying on odd years. Up by Chinook Pass, on the King County, Yakima County line, there's a pocket of them. There's another pocket of them down in Klickitat County, and then a couple of weeks ago we saw one in Spokane County and Spokane Canyon in Chelan County. So we're getting these things popping up.
Hey Dave, remember that day we went up the backside of Cashmere?
Yeah.
And that little creek that we found that colony there? That's been repeatedly odd year colony now for almost a decade.
So that's an odd year problem.
Yeah.
So these things do occur on odd years, so we'll watch for them, but this is the one we're more likely to see. This is a Cryptozoology. And this one is also a biennial bug, but it has pretty good populations that also fly on odd years. So it's more common to find this one. Spread-winged skippers, northern cloudy wing. People in Wagar has found some colony of these in Sinlahekin. It's a hike, so I don't think we'll go there. I think it's like a mile hiking. But we can still see it. Common city wing. I think I saw some common city wings flying around up at Moses Meadows, but again, they're little dark things that dart around. And since I wasn't using my hat, I didn't mention it, but I think it's up there. Dreamy dusky wing. I saw one dusky wing. Yeah, I think it was a dreamy dusky wing today. It's quite warm in the Sinlahekin, so it is around. Persia's dusky wing. The folks that went up to Long Swamp got pictures of this. Two-banded checkered skipper. We'll probably pass this blackberry. It flies earlier, but it certainly occurs up here. And the grass skippers. Arctic skipper. This is an odd one to I'm sorry, I'll cancel that. I don't know if we'll see Arctic skippers up here. I've not seen them. Again, we might be past their blackberry. It's kind of early. Garita skipper. We're getting into a group now, the Garita skipperling, and, well, I thought it was with a couple others. It occurs up here in the northern part of Okanagan County, and it's one of the few areas in the state. Now, I think John and Brenda have been finding the Garita along the eastern edge of Washington, north of Spokane, but and maybe it's spreading, I'm not sure, and up in Ponderay County. But this has been one of the strongholds here in Okanagan County. I've not seen it, but I expect to, so it's probably around. The Juba skipper I've not seen. I mean, this is a common widespread butterfly. It should be around, but have not seen it. The western branded, likewise, haven't seen it. Should be around. Another fine photo by David James. I should have asked his permission. This very common Manitoba. This is the. We used to call all of these branded skippers common branded skippers, and then they were split so that there's only the ones with essentially with essentially a dark brown color behind the white spots that are now with this very common Manitoba, what is now the common branded skipper. These are found up at Slate Peak, and they're found in the Olympics, but we could stumble onto this in the higher elevations when they do the Monday loop. Heck skipper, this is a really cool skipper, and we did not see it, but it should be around, so we'll watch for it. It has these very classic big yellow spots on its hindwing. By the way, the skippers in the genus Polites all have yellow spots on the hindwing, and those in the genus Hesperium, the branded skippers, have white spots. So that's one way to differentiate them quickly. And this is a little skipper that looks pretty drab, but it's for us that are really into skippers. This is a really cool bug. This is the Pontiac skipper, and it's pretty much unmarked. It has a very plain hind wing, but it has this tawny band up here on the forewing. And this is a species of very restricted range. John, have you found this over the eastern part of the state?
I haven't found one.
You did find one?
I have not.
Have not.
It doesn't exist east of Perry County.
I found one in Ponderay County several months. a number of years ago that you identified.
Really?
Yeah, the dark one.
Oh, just barely in Ponderay, coming down 2 Tiger Meadows?
It was, yeah, it was kind of in the northern part of the county. I'll have to dig out my record up there.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is a species that's pretty much only in Okanagan County. So this is a bug that is found in very few areas. And we saw several of them at Moses Meadows. So that was kind of cool. This was the bug that we probably will see. Sonora skipper is certainly a possibility. We did not see it. As this nice
Maybe
little-
it's Salmon Meadows.
Oh, yeah, Salmon Meadows. On the Monday loop, we'll be coming back down through Salmon Meadows, and they do occur there. Good. Woodland skipper, we're probably too early in the season. This is a late butterfly. They should start flying pretty soon, but they're not out yet. When they do fly, this Moses Meadows Road will be going up. We've seen that area when it's just, there's just clouds of woodland skippers. So they will be there, but they're not there yet. Fountain roadside skipper, NOS-30 file, certainly a possibility. And that's about it. Let's see, I was going to mention a little bit more about the road. Maybe I've already hit that hard enough. But again, let me back up to the map. I can do that quickly. Okay, this area at Moses Meadows, again, this is the loop. And unfortunately, there's a big logging operation right about in here. And I was planning to take the group clear around the loop road, which is about something like 6 or 6.5 miles. There's a very nice location. This is the main road. There's a very nice location about 2 miles in. No problem getting to that. You should see a lot of butterflies there. There's another location that's really good coming out about 2 miles on the north route. And we're going to try real hard to get in there, but there is a small logging operation right smack in the middle of our road.
David, they're not going to be operating tomorrow. It's a
Oh, no.
weekend, man. They're working class people.
Well, we hope that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
If that's the case, we have no problem. But again, this is just a great spot. There's a drainage. It's not a clean drainage. It's not like a creek. There's a marshy area, sea, and there's enough water there that you get your feet kind of muddy if you go in, and not be careful where you walk. And it's just full of butterflies. So we want to get into that spot, and we want to get into this slough that's down here 2 miles in. Another real classic spot. So those are our 2 main spots on the Moses Meadows loop. And then the other spot I mentioned is a spot about 6 miles in. That would be about a deer that will be stopping along the main road. So that's our plans. I'll try to find those checklists and get them to you. Boy, I hope I didn't leave those home. But Al, you brought lots, right?
No.
So anyway, I'm sure I've got to find something. So any questions about logistics or locations or butterflies?
David?
Yes.
I'd just like to say one thing briefly about an optional, for those of you who are planning to stick around until the Monday trip. I am going to make a short visit to a place up near Ellisford that is supposed to have, right along the Okanagan River, north of Nebraska, a little ways, large acreage of milkweed. And this is land administered by